Uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom!
This video is about Miramar and why it's the best map. Now, when I do a video, normally I can do the audio in one take. I know I have a clear, defined view on what I feel, and I'm able to express that rather, well, if not eloquently, then at least with some level of transparency to you, the viewer, as we land on a scorpion that disappears. I love my ping. Luckily, we run for these guns over here because this guy drops. However, I have had to redo the audio on this map, on this video, a bunch of times now because this is a big topic. When I say it's the best map, I then start talking about other maps and new maps and Karakin and Vikendi, and I go off on tangents and I start talking about why TPP is kind of a shame and why 556 spraying is kind of a shame. And I've had to cut that down and I've had to cut it out because I like positivity in the world, and I've noticed lately, particularly lately, that I have been somewhat ground down by various occurrences within the game. Now, I stream a lot. I stream a lot, and oftentimes on stream, people will see me incredulously say stuff like, I think this guy's cheating, and some people will even say, oh, you always think you're getting beat. And the worst part about it is when I go and think about that, being beaten, by that they mean being beaten illegally, is the reason I think that is because it's been so often true in the past, to the point where, and see, here we go. We are going off on a tangent again. This is what I'm talking about. This is the problem I have with this topic. It's huge. And I don't know how to make it into more than just a rambling speech. So what I want you to do is sit back, relax, put on some, you know what, stuff it. I'll put on some cool jazz for you and we'll chill out. And we're going to talk about why Miramar is the best map. And I'm just going to ramble, okay? Because I don't know any other way to do this. Miramar is the best map because it allows you to negate the broken mechanic of snaking. That's point one. Miramar is the best map because it actually exists in a scissors, rock, paper universe. By that I mean, Karakin is its own thing, and I'm going to be doing a full-length video on Karakin. But on Karakin there is no scopes. You can get a 3x if you're lucky. And if you find a drop somewhere near you, which is tough to do without vehicles, then you can get an 8x out of a drop, or you can get a 6x very, very occasionally off bots. But 556 AR spraying, especially G36Cs, where I've like done multiple 280 meter plus sprays today with that gun with a 3x and killed people on Karakin, exists, and it is very, very effective. Yet on Miramar, there is the scissors, rock, paper thing going on. Sure, you can do that with a 3x or a 4x and an M416, but bolt actions exist, and so do 8x scopes. And you can drive to airdrops and get AWMs. And if you don't have a level 3 helmet and you're using an M416 and you keep spraying, you're going to get brained and removed from the game. That's why I say that scissors, rock, paper exists on Miramar, but it doesn't really exist on Karakin. Karakin is purpose-built for mid-range and long-range spraying, okay? And for taking third-party over the top of ridges and area denying 300 meters and massively third-partying. That's cool because a lot of people like that, but I don't. What I like the most is Miramar. Miramar allows you to run bolt actions. I'll share with you a stat. My headshot rate in squads is about 26%. In duos, it's about 28%. And in solos, where I play only Miramar, it's at just about 33%. That's a big jump. Last season, it was 35%. And the reason is because on Miramar, you get more of those long-range bolt action engagements. And they are exciting challenges of skill and sniping. You know, that's what I live for. And yet you don't get people who snake nearly as often. There are areas of Miramar that are grassy. There are patches of grass and tufts of grass all over the place, as you can see here. Well, this is one of the only times in the universe where being a potato has helped. Did you see how I stalled my movement there? and then I started again. I'm pretty sure that saved me. I stopped in front of that guy and he must have thought Christmas time, and then I suddenly spurted forward again, and so I only took a burst in the legs or part of my vest. But yeah, potato, boys and girls, it'll help you. Anyway, where was I? So you don't get the same grass hounds that you get on other places. It exists, but it is not something you can rely on at all. To give you an example of why this can be so frustrating, if you've ever played Erangel, you'll know if you've ever played Erangel. Hi, have you breathed today? If you play those kind of maps, Erangel, Sanok, Livik, you'll know that sometimes you will roll up to a compound or a house and the person inside will jump out the window and lie down in the grass. Like, how do you feel about the mechanic and how about the trigger discipline here? Just not firing. Trigger discipline, baby. That's what we're talking about. Trigger freaking discipline from the old bloke. Anyway, onwards and upwards. I'll do a video on trigger discipline one day. I should, because it's something that I practice a lot. And the reason they do that is because it's the best possible way for them to survive. There are no other maps like Miramar where you can do this and yet still run bolt actions and not have to worry about, you know, like snakes in the grass. It's also a map that rewards movement. By that I mean rotating hard and fast in vehicles to compounds and better ridge lines. All the maps, guessing where the circle's going to go or setting up for circle rotations is super important. There's no way of sugarcoating that. It's an incredibly important part of the gameplay. But on Miramar, it's kind of an art form. You can't really do it on Sanok because the vehicles are so rubbish. Erangel, obviously, it's great and everyone rotates around and all that kind of thing. But on Miramar, it's such a big map and there is so much open space that people that know rotations and know the general kill zones of the map can really make a lot of hay. And you'll see how I'm constantly going, using the ridges and the sight lines and basically driving on the white stuff. See the white parts of the desert? That's where you can actually drive without tossing the car all over the place. And I try and move from lighter colored desert part to lighter colored desert part. Where was I? So this is one of the reasons that I love this map so much is you've got this blend. You've got the compound fights. You have hot drops. Like you can drop Hacienda del Patron or something in solos or Picado Arena. I mean, you drop Picado. Picado is just a sweaty, heaving mess. And it has all that. But then once you get to the mid game and the late game, it becomes a real test of skill where you've got to be able to aim and be accurate with your marksmanship, or you've got to be very, very good at urban areas if it moves to something like Los Leones or San Martin. And they're not little towns. The biggest towns in PUBG Mobile are on this map. Los Leones is an enormous place. Monte Nuevo, El Pozo, San Martin, El Azahar, they're enormous, enormous urban areas. And you will have to be good enough to win on those maps, in this map, on those areas. But they're just part of the overall get in the ring concept that is Miramar. How lucky is this bloke to die before I actually finish him? He's going for a heal. Like, you got to come in on that play zone, buddy. He was the guy, I'm pretty sure that was the guy who kept firing at me on the hill outside of Picado. So Miramar is a no-holds-barred affair where if you are looking for an easy out, it doesn't exist. People can see you rotate. You need to be able to rotate and drive well. People can see when you lie down on the ground. It's about angles like anything, but it's also about just flat out beating the other guy in the engagement. It's not a map that I think new players do very well at. I think new players do better at maps where they can use the snaking mechanic. I know that's a mechanic that I used for quite a few seasons when I first started, and it was super bloody effective. My highest damage game ever was 4,800 on a like season 2, or might even been season 1, or what passed for season 1, Erangel game that ended up on the tower above Millbase. I was with Mr. Ouija. We did 4,800 damage in that game. And I'll guarantee you that most of it was from lying down. And this is what I mean. Look at this rotation. This guy, there's no hiding here. There's no hiding. It's wide open desert. You can use the hills, you can use the ridges, you can use the cavities in the ground and in the rocks. You can use these dips. But if you lie down in the grass, you're dead meat. And you're going to see there's one of these guys at the end of this actually lays down in the grass and thinks he's going to get the job done. Now, I understand that this isn't for everyone. And there is a whole thing that I'm going to be doing. This is where I change to extreme frames because the Griza fires faster at 60 frames per second than it does at 90. So, you know, I am that OCD. There we go. Look at him. There we go. I don't know how to play. Or rather, I've been used to playing Erangel the whole time. This is what I do. I just lie down in the grass now. And no, that's not what you do. You don't just lie down in the grass. And there's only one guy left. And he's somewhere over there. And he doesn't know that I've killed that bloke. And he's wondering what's going on. Headshot. Oh, we need one more. Oh, no good. Yeah, I'm doing a video as well on bullet speed. And why bullet speed is just incredible. And how bullet speed works in PUBG Mobile. It's 2 headshots on this guy. And he's got the Orm. So I have now decided that let's not die to a headshot right at the end of the game. And let's just get the kill. Bullet speed, look for that. There's a huge thing with bullet speed, and I don't want to go into it too far, but it's not just about the numbers. It's about the way bullet speed works in PUBG Mobile. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this general ramble about Miramar and why it's so awesome. I'm Bushka. Thanks so much for joining and watching and subscribing. Look after yourselves. And as always, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.